Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at some footage from an incident that occurred during our overnight investigation at the Arlington Hotel. Also, with the details surrounding the incident, we recommend that you watch this video from beginning to end as we dissect and analyze the evidence as we share it with you. So with saying that, Murdoch, you had all the footage. You looked through it pretty thoroughly. What were you able to find out for us?
So, upon reviewing the footage, what I found was that our one stationary camera in the basement appeared to move on its own, um, regardless of the fact that we had all the settings turned off that would allow it to move.
Right.
So there was no reason for that camera to move unless something or someone physically moved it.
Yeah.
And we do have that video clip that I'm going to show in a minute. And also, upon reviewing the footage, there appears to be some type of anomaly in the video file as well, that looks almost like some type of shadow on the floor right next to where the camera moved.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to show first is the actual unedited video file. And then after that, I will show a second file that is zoomed in a bit and enhanced. That makes it a little bit easier to see that anomaly.
Okay.
So that is the unedited clip. And next, I'm going to show the clip that is highlighted and zoomed in. That makes it easier to see.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where the anomaly manifests. Yeah, you can see it as soon as it turns to the left, and then you can see it right on the floor there. It kind of appears, and then it looks like it goes off into the distance away from the camera. That's
So
crazy.
here it is one more time.
Yeah. As soon as it goes over, you see it on the floor, and then it starts moving up and away. That's insane. That was the first time it moved at 12:22, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the first time. And it seemed like um, the camera actually moved twice.
Mm,
But this was interesting too, because when I went looking through the files of the camera itself, there
mm.
was a gap in the files of about, what was it, 49 minutes.
Wow.
And I am going to show that as well shortly. Um,
So all that
so,
footage was missing from that in that time frame of the
yeah.
camera moving the second time. That's insane.
So here's a screenshot of the actual files uh, from the camera that moved.
Right.
And in this next shot,
Oh,
you can
yes.
see here where I've highlighted, uh, there is a gap between 1:04 a.m. and 1:53 a.m.
Yep.
where nothing was recorded. And interestingly enough, during that time, the other two cameras recorded you walking through the basement three times.
Right.
And for some reason, on this particular camera, the one that was physically moved, um, there are no recordings
Wow.
of you or anything else during that time period.
That is
And
weird.
and we can't account for that.
Nope.
You and I tested these cameras. I tested them at my place, and then you and I tested them together at your place.
Hmm.
So we know they were working.
That is crazy.
And
That footage. That footage just disappeared off that one camera, where the other cameras around it during that time frame was able to record. That is peculiar. Like,
so here,
detects the noise, it will make a round tour of the surrounding environment. So that's probably what it was doing.
That's the whole time that's what it was doing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's what it was. You know what? You know now.
Okay.
You
So
just
So should I turn the motion tracking back on then?
Yeah.
And just see what
Yeah,
happens?
might as well check the difference. It's still early, we can still troubleshoot this and go for it. Just keep that one down there and keep this. I'm not gonna switch them around again. Just change the titles on the screen. Fuck, dude, I didn't think of that. I didn't know it did that. Cause we're walking and it's tracking the sound.
Yeah. Yeah, see now I have motions tracking back on that camera, and it is not moving, because I turned that setting off. Okay.
Technically, the downstairs ones, you can just keep like that, stationed still. You don't really need them to move.
Mhm.
Okay?
Not really.
This is where we
They're fine
turned
like
off the
that.
tracking
Yeah.
in the basement cameras.
Okay.
Yeah,
And you know
yeah.
what?
Because if you remember,
Depending on your
every
coverage
time
area,
we
might
came
just
in and
keep
out of
this one the same. It's
our
not
room
moving
here,
motion. Okay.
the camera that was in our room was acting strange, right? Like we'd come in
Right.
and instead of turning around to face us and track us, it would be facing the wall, facing
Yeah.
into the corner,
The mirror,
or
the closet.
sometimes it would just lock onto the closet and just
Yeah.
stay there. So
Right.
we ended up turning off all the motion settings just
Yep.
to try and eliminate any type of camera malfunction.
And what time was that timestamp at on that video?
So
Because that's when we turned them off.
yeah, so that was
23:28.
yeah, so 11:30 basically at
Yeah.
night.
That's when we turned off the tracking, motion tracking.
Yep, and then our video clip here of the camera moving again is at 22 minutes after 12.
Right. Almost
So
an hour
here,
after we turn it off.
yep.
Yeah.
So there's no reason this camera
It
should have
should
moved.
not be. Yep.
No.
Should not be moving.
So next I'll show the clip of me coming back into the room after realizing that the camera had moved.
And this was the second move that you found.
Mhm.
So timestamp 254.
Yeah, well, this is when I first noticed that it had moved.
Right.
12:20. Half an hour ago, we missed it.
That shifted by itself.
It shifted by
And like I said, that shift was not a normal pan.
No.
Like the camera itself. So you can tell, if you put that motion sensor on and you see it turn, it doesn't move the same way that did. No, so that was kind of rough.
Let's just think through this. Before we jump to any conclusions, let's just, do we know for sure that neither of us was playing with the app at that time? Neither of us.
I wasn't on it.
Okay.
I was not on it. I have not been on it. And tonight, the only person that's been moving it manually is you. I haven't done it tonight at all.
Okay.
That was not me.
And I wouldn't have done it. And I wouldn't have done it because I just nicely got it.
You have them. You had it.
Yeah.
You see how your frame was
Yeah.
and how it moved. But it didn't move like it was motion sensing. It moved like it was actually pushed and like shoved.
Yeah.
It was a different move.
Yeah.
Different characteristics.
Yeah, really, it kind of jumped.
So there,
Yeah.
I was just trying to rule out the fact that either you or I had manually manipulated the camera,
Right.
using the app that controls them, right? But you clearly state there that you didn't, and that and of course, having taken all the time and effort to set the camera up myself, I wouldn't have wanted to move it either.
Right.
And next up here, this is a screen grab just from the app that we use that controls the cameras. And I'll just zoom in a little bit here, and you can see clearly the camera facing away from the center of the room.
Yeah. It's even closer to the wall. Like it's even moved over to the left even more. Like this is the second time it moved right here.
So here's side by side.
Yeah.
And then this final image here.
So here, these three images. So if we look at image one is how we originally had our cameras set up to investigate. And this is where we wanted the framing and the view. So image two is when it moved the first time. If you check this timestamp, it says 22 minutes after 12. And that's the first time it moved. You can see the difference in the framing set and what it's catching.
Mhm.
And then in image 3, it, of course, and the timestamp saying 2:41, and you can see it's not even close to the other two images because it's shoved even more to the left. So it's even closer. It's showing the wall where the other two images weren't even picking up the wall. So you can tell it's been
Yeah.
moved 2 different times. From image 1, it goes to image 2, and from image 2, it goes to image 3. And like you said, was it 11:30? We disengaged the motion tracking on the camera. So there's no reason why this camera should have moved like that.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. All right. Now let's put all this stuff together. Murdoch?
So basically, we have the clip of you and I talking about the camera settings and deactivating everything so that none of the cameras would move on their own.
Right.
Right. Next up, we showed the video of the camera moving after we deactivated all the settings.
Yep.
And also, there appeared to be some type of anomaly on the floor right beside the camera.
Yeah.
Then I showed files taken from the camera itself showing a 49-minute gap in which nothing was recorded, despite the fact that you walked through the basement several times and were recorded on the other two cameras that were down there.
Right.
So for some reason, the camera that moved did not record you.
And that missing footage was also when the camera moved a second time, it was within that missing footage.
Yep.
Which is strange,
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. That's the facts. That's the footage. Is it paranormal? Is it not? That's up for you guys to decide.